Technology has brought many benefits to both our personal and our professional lives. It's revolutionised the capabilities of businesses, business owners and employees. Things are generally quicker, easier and more efficient. But that, of course, doesn't come without its dangers, and businesses must consider whether their cybersecurity is up to scratch. So, would you know how to protect your business from cybersecurity threats? I'm here with David Salisbury, Enterprise Product Manager at Shaw Business, who will share some insights into cybersecurity for businesses. So David, thank you for joining me today. First and foremost, it would be great to hear more about your role and responsibilities at Shaw Business.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Hopefully what I say is useful. My role is to help design and build out a range of services for businesses in both the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man, and we build things that are suitable for the size of companies' location on the island, and all of those services have cybersecurity woven in them. Cybersecurity touches every aspect of a business, every aspect of IT. So at every stage we think about cybersecurity in those products, but also as an overlay over the top.
Great, thank you. So I think a good place to start is an overview. So how would you define the term cybersecurity?
Basically, it's everything across the business, as I said a moment ago. Every aspect of IT has an element of cybersecurity. Networking, storage, laptops. You're using a laptop and your iPhone. Companies' data is critical. Looking after that data, as I said, how long can you live without using your computer? How long can you do your job for? We wouldn't be here today talking without emails and our Teams conversations. We can't work without IT, and that needs to be secure because there are industrial ransomware gangs that are looking to take that away from you and charge you to give it back again.
Yeah, absolutely. So considering that, what do you feel companies need to do to protect themselves from those threats?
One of the things I always say is you can't go and buy 2 boxes of cybersecurity. It's not something that comes in a packet on a shelf or something like that. You need to have a framework and a structure and look at your cybersecurity across the company and make sure that everything is working well. There's various frameworks. Smaller companies, probably Cyber Essentials, which is a government-backed scheme, is a very good framework to look at. As I was saying at Shaw, we have a range of services and cybersecurity sits across those. We like to use those building blocks to build something specific for that customer. That includes backup, firewalls, Cyber Essentials, all the security that's in Microsoft these days. I find many companies have a lot of security tools that aren't really being used properly. It's warfare out there. It's an arms race between the hackers and yourselves as a company, and every day it moves it forwards. You need to make sure that these security tools are working correctly and giving you the right level of protection, but also not stopping you doing business. It's always a balance. You need to be able to work. You don't want to be prompt with enter your password every 2 minutes, but you also need to make sure that you've got the right authentication in place that only you can get the data, because if somebody else gets into your emails and starts emailing your customers as you, your reputation's damaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's very important. Even if you're a small company, your reputation is what keeps you in business. And you I can't expect a law firm, a building firm, whatever they may be, to be experts in cybersecurity. Don't come asking me for tax advice or how to build a house. I can't help you. You as your business, you focus on doing that. We try and simplify everything. It's a theme we've got running in the business at the moment. Simplify. We will look after that for you. We will simplify your business processes. We can simplify the cloud for you, simplify phone systems. One company that can look after everything for you. My colleague who you're speaking to later is very keen on this one, is understand what the business is trying to do.
Yeah.
Understand what you're trying to do as a customer, and we can advise you how the IT services can make that work better for you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't care about bits and bytes or storage. It's not of interest to you. You want to be talking to people. So how can we help you do that? That's what we're trying to do, and just simplify everything for businesses in the Channel Islands and Isle of Man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, leading on from that, it would be great if you could give an idea of how much a company should be spending on security. How much of an investment should it be for them?
That's $1 million question. It doesn't actually cost $1 million, thank goodness. It really depends. I'm what's called a cyber information security professional, and we very much look at cyber attacks on a risk basis.
Yeah.
How likely is that to happen? How much loss would that cause the business? How much can we spend to mitigate for that business? But again, as I was saying, many companies already have the tools in place, but maybe not configured correctly. Everybody uses Microsoft. Yeah, we've all got Microsoft M365 with Word, email and everything.
Yeah.
There is so much now built into the Microsoft licenses with all the various types of Defender and controls that are in there, but they're very complicated to use, and make sure how you've twiddled all the knobs to get the best out of it for you as a customer, and make sure that you've got the best protection possible. As I say, if you've not got it protected, you will become a weakness in the food chain. One of the largest hacks ever was a big retail chain in the US, but they actually got in through the air conditioning maintenance company.
Wow. You would never have guessed.
But it cost them billions. So it was a small company who didn't have the right security at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Attacked them majorly and lost billions over it.
Gosh, scary stuff. I mean, the importance of it is really highlighted in what you were saying there. So I'm curious to know what happens if businesses don't invest in this? Whether that be the money, time, resources, what would happen if they don't invest into their cybersecurity?
I was at a seminar about a year ago now, and somebody described it as a business extinction event, which is pretty dramatic. But I have been involved with customers where the board have had to make a very tough decision whether to pay the ransomware and stay in business or go out of business.
Gosh.
If you're completely controlled, you could lose your business.
Yeah.
I'm not saying spend millions. Use what you've got. Just get a basic level of control in there. If you've not got the right controls in, even if you've got cyber insurance in place, they won't pay out if you haven't got up-to-date protection in place. Mm-hmm. And it never covers all costs. Mm-hmm. There have been a number of cases on the island where hacktivists, which is hackers that are activists, basically, have attacked some pretty well-known firms on the islands, and exposed their data in the press and social media and so on. Luckily, the ones in the islands have actually been well managed, and it wasn't too much damage to their business. It did affect them, but the famous one is the Panama Papers.
Of course.
That was a law firm with about 8 offices globally. I can't remember how many now. Billions of pound turnover. It's now 3 people.
Yeah.
And it's just reputational damage because they lost their clients' data.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And their clients didn't want it in the press.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah, that is the prime example, isn't it? It always comes to mind when we have discussions around cybersecurity and data. So what would you say to small businesses, perhaps, that feel they're not as at risk because they are smaller? Is that a fair assumption, or would you say differently?
I would say I've heard that many times. They're not interested, little old me. They're attacking banks. They're attacking all the big boys. The big boys now are very secure. They have very professional enterprise-grade security in place. The hackers are now attacking the small and medium-sized companies because they know they can't afford the level of security. The tools are there, but they might not be as well prepared.
Yeah.
And they'll get in on a small company, and as I was saying, that small company might do work for a government, a bank, any bigger company, and that's a way into their network for them. I heard recently of one case where somebody hacked a company, used the Wi-Fi from that company to jump to the Wi-Fi of the company next door.
Gosh.
And hacked into the company next door from the Wi-Fi.
Chain of hacking.
Yeah, these people are very clever. They make a lot of money, so they're highly motivated, and they're normally based in parts of the world where they have these IT skills, but they have not a way of earning that kind of living and that kind of salaries. So they've got to use their skills somewhere to make a living.
Yeah.
Hacking is a good living for them.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, all the incentive there for them to do it as well. So all the more reason to be careful. Yeah. I'm curious because you touched on before about the kind of built-in security measures that the software products that we use generally have nowadays. So do we already have that layer of cybersecurity already there through passwords, Face ID, two-factor authentication? Is it enough, in your opinion?
There are enough tools there. They're often not fully implemented or consistently controlled. The passwords now, Face ID, all the authentication processes are in place. A lot of customers we find have legacy systems that they want to upgrade but haven't quite got round to yet. And often that is the critical system for the company. You know, it's been there for 10 years. It's the accounting system, it's the order processing system. It's a huge job to upgrade it, but because it's an older system, it might not have the security in place.
Yeah.
There are ways of overlaying security on those legacy systems and protecting your crown jewels. So the tools are there. It's just a matter of being sensible about them. One of the sets of guiding principles in cybersecurity is confidentiality, integrity and availability.
Yeah.
I tend to spin that around the other way. I think availability is the key aspect. If you've got passwords and it takes you 10 minutes to get into an application, you're not going to use it. You're going to find a way around it. So availability has got to be key. Mm-hmm. But you still need to have enough controls in there to keep that data confidential so other people can't get at it. Integral, so that maybe a rogue employee comes in and starts adjusting data, or because they're upset about something or other, they change some CVs or change some publicity. That integrity needs to be there. But first of all, you need to be able to use the data, because otherwise you're going to find a way around that any security is in there. Mm-hmm. It's important to keep those three guiding principles in place.
Yeah, great. Well, I think what we can take away from that discussion is that cybersecurity is a continuously terrifying topic, but there are ways around it, ways to protect yourself, working with businesses like Sure Business to protect yourself as an organisation, and we can fight off the hackers.
Hopefully we're there to help our customers. We're based in the islands. We have a vested interest in all the companies in the islands because we're part of this island community. We want to make sure we all continue forward and keep the reputation of the Channel Islands as positive it has been.
Absolutely. Well, it's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for joining me today, David. It's been great to chat with you.
Thank you. It's been very nice talking to you.